Can you guess the block I used in making this pant? It's a skirt block. Yes, you heard me correctly. I used a skirt block in drafting patterns for these pants. You can actually use skirt blocks to draft patterns for your pants. Now, this is a culotte or a split skirt, as some people call it. So I use my skirt block to draft the patterns. I know you love this beautiful skirt, don't you? Now, I know you want me to show you exactly how I drafted patterns for this pant using my skirt block. No worries, grab all your pattern making tools and your skirt block. Let's head over to the table. Let me show you exactly how to draft patterns and sew these beautiful pants. Okay? So to draft patterns for this pant, you are going to grab your knit skirt block. Now, I'm using a knit skirt block because I use a knit fabric for this pant. So you will need your knit skirt block. Now, if you don't have it, no worries. I'm going to leave the link in the description box below so that you can go make yours. The knit skirt block is one of the easiest block that you can ever make. It is really very simple. So you're going to make yours, and then once you've done yours, or once you've made yours, then you're going to trace it out like so. Trace it on the plain sheet of paper, and then you're going to have something like this. Make sure you trim off the excess here, and then you trim off the excess on the other side. Okay, now you're also going to trim off the excess on the waistline too, because we are going to slash and spread it out. Okay, so now you are going to take your meter rule, and then you're going to look for the midpoint of this skirt, your waistline. Now just place your meter rule like so, and then you look for the midpoint. So here is the midpoint of my waistline, and then we are going to draw a straight line all the way down to the hemline. Now, if you want your pants to be longer than this, the only thing you need to do is just to extend your hemline. Just extend it a little bit. Okay, so I'm using the length I'm using here. My skirt block length is about 60 cm, and I'm very okay with that length. So you take your meter rule, and then you draw a straight line downwards all the way down to the hem like so. Okay, so we are going to slash this line from the hemline. We're going to slash it all the way down to our waist tip, but we're not going to cut it through. Now, before you slash it, you're going to measure your hip line. This is my hip line. You place your meter rule on it. You're going to measure it, and then you're going to keep that measurement because you are going to need that measurement later. So right away here, I have about 30 cm. So I'm just going to write 30 cm here. So write yours too, whatever you have for yours, write it out, and then yeah, just write it out because we're going to need that measurement later. So now you are going to slash your line so you can spread it out and create that flared effect. So you see what you already have. Now we're going to place a paper underneath it. Now, before you spread it out, you're going to draw a straight vertical line on your paper. So just make sure that your line is straight. This line is actually going to serve as a guide. Now you take your skirt pattern like this, and then this center front. Okay, we are working with the front part first. This is our original center front. So we're going to place the tip here. We're just going to spread it out like so. Place the tip here like this, and then on the hemline, so you place the tip here like this, and then on the hemline, you are going to spread it out a little bit. You're going to spread this hemline out, say about 3 cm. So from here now, I hope you can see what I'm doing. So from here now, from this straight line here, you are going to mark about 3 cm. So I have my 3 cm mark like that. And then I'm going to just adjust these very nicely. Good. So this part now becomes my new center front. So I'm going to mark it center front. Okay. We have only just spread this out on the hemline a little bit from here to here, 3 cm. Now we go over to this part here. We're going to spread it out, say about 5 cm. Now you can actually spread it out the way you like, but I don't want mine to be too full, so that's why I'm using 5 cm. Remember, the wider you spread it out, the fuller your pant is going to be. The smaller you spread it out, the smaller your, the less full your pant is going to be. So now you are going to go to the side seam, and then you are also going to mark about 3 cm. Now you can also spread yours out a lot bigger than that. It depends on you. So just give it a mark. 3 cm, between 3 cm to 5 cm is okay. Now you are going to connect this point all the way down to the waistline. You can actually still connect this point to your hip line. It depends on you. But we really don't need to use a hip curve here because we have already spread it out, and so we have some allowance to accommodate this part that is going to go off. So that would mean that we don't need this part anymore. So now you're going to need your crotch depth measurement. Now let me show you how to take your crotch depth measurement. It's really very easy. So here's how to take your crotch depth measurement. You're going to sit on a chair like this. Make sure you sit very well. You're not slushing down like this. You are sitting and lifting up yourself well like this. Okay, now you are going to locate your waistline, or better still, if you're wearing a pant like this, you can locate the pant waistline, and then you're going to place your tape measure like this on it, like so, and then straight down all the way down to where your chair is. You see the tip of my chair. So whatever value you get, that is going to be your crotch depth. Okay, so now that you have your crotch depth measurement, you are going to measure, you're going to add 2 cm to your crotch depth measurement. Whatever your crotch depth measurement is, you're going to add 2 cm to it. Then you are going to measure from here. Remember, this is our waistline. You're going to measure from here downwards your crotch depth measurement plus 2 cm. So you're going to mark it like so. All right. So once you finish marking, the next thing you're going to do is you are going to look for the midpoint here. From the waistline to your crotch depth measurement, you're going to look for the midpoint. Now, when you find the midpoint, you're just going to mark. So that is my midpoint here. So once you get your midpoint, you're going to drop it down a little bit. From your midpoint, you're going to mark 2.5 cm. So you just mark it like that. We're going to come back to this mark later. Okay, good. So the next thing you're going to do now is, you see this, your hip measurements that you took before, this one that you wrote down, you are going to divide it by 2. And whatever your measurement is, for me, I have 30 cm. If I divide by 2, I have 15 cm. So whatever your measurement is, after you've divided by 2, you're going to take 2 cm off. You're going to minus 2 cm. So 30 divided by 2, I have 15 cm. 15 minus 2, I have 13 cm. So I'm going to come here now where my crotch depth is. I am just going to draw a line from here down to this part, 13 cm. Okay, and then you're going to go to your hemline, and then you're going to measure from here to here, whatever value you have, you're also going to put it here on your hem line, just like that. And now you're going to close this box nicely, like so. Okay, now once you've done that, the next thing we're going to do now is we're getting ready to draw our crotch. So from here to here now, you are going to measure upwards, say about 3.5 cm, 3.8 cm or thereabouts. So for me, I'm going to use about 3.8 cm. So you're just going to draw it diagonally. Okay, so once you've done that, now you're going to draw your crotch curve. So you're going to draw it from this point, and this point. Use your pattern master to do this very nicely. So you finish drawing your crotch curve. Now you're going to come to your hemline, and then you're going to blend your hemline very nicely. Okay, so we are almost done with the front. The only thing we need to do now, then you can also blend your waistline too if it's a little bit wonky. Now we'll need to draw our waistband. Now for the waistband, you are just going to measure downwards, say about 5 cm, or how wide you want your waistband to be. So this is going to be my waistband. So maybe let me use another pen so that you can see it very well. Okay, and then you use your French curve to connect all the points. So this is going to be your waistline. Please take note, you have to place a tracing paper over this to trace out this waistline. So take note of where your waistband is. Now let me connect it very well. This part is not part of it, so don't get confused. And then from here, like this. All right. So this part like this is going to be our waistband. Okay, now if you want to add a pocket to it, fine and good. So for the pocket is really pretty easy. You are just going to measure here, because your pocket is going to start from here. You're just going to measure here, say about 3 cm, 3.5 cm or thereabouts, like so. And then you connect it in a slant, say about, yeah, maybe just put your hand so that you can be sure that it will enter, say about 13 or so cm. Yeah, so this is okay. Yeah, so my hands can fit in very well. And then you're going to measure your pocket back, how deep you want your pocket to be. So I love my pocket a little bit deep, so from here now I'm just going to measure downwards, say about 24 cm. Good, so this is my pocket sack. So you're going to place your tracing paper over it, and then you're going to trace out this pattern just like so. And then you're also going to trace out from here like this. You trace out the pattern. So you're going to trace out 2 pattern pieces here like this, and then like this. I hope you get it. Okay, so that's really all for the front part. So let me trim off the excess paper so that you can see exactly how the pant or the pant pattern is going to look like. Now when you trim out the papers like this, remember to add your seam allowance when you are cutting on your fabric. All right. So this is our pant pattern. Nice, right? Easy peasy. Now let's work on the back side. The back side is just almost the same thing, but a little different. Okay? And for the back side, you're also going to trace out your skirt block, your knit skirt block. Remember that for knit skirt block, you need only one block for the center front and center back. So we're going to trace this out just like we did for the front part, and then we're going to create the flare. It's just exactly the same thing. So I'm going to do mine now, and then I'll show it to you. So now once you've gotten to this step and we've created the flare for the back side, now you are going to mark your crotch depth just the way you did for the front, plus 2 cm, and then you're just going to mark it like this. Now this is your hip line. Whatever you have as your hip line, you divide it by 2, and then you are going to mark that measurement. Take note, you're not going to take off anything from the back side, because the back side, the crotch is usually longer than the front part to accommodate your hips or your butts. Okay, and then you're going to measure this point from here to here to on the hemline as well. Okay, and then you close these parts. All right, good. So now you're going to measure from here, and then you look for the midpoint. And then you're going to just mark your midpoint like so. Okay, now to draw a crotch curve, you come to this point, and then this part here, you're going to measure it upwards, say about 4.5 cm. All right, and you're going to use your pattern master to connect this point to this point to these points. So the next thing would be for us to create our waistband, just the way we did for the front part. Okay. And now you're going to just trim off the excess paper. Okay, so that's it for the pattern making. Easy peasy, right? Now, if you're interested in learning much more about knit, working with knit fabrics, I have a dedicated membership where I teach you how to work with different types of knit fabrics and using these knit fabrics to create different garments ranging from skirts, pants, jackets, and all of that. You're going to find out that working with knit is really very simple. Now, if you're interested in joining my membership, where I also guide my students one-on-one, we're all in a private group where I guide my students, where they can ask questions and I give them feedback and all of that for the same price. If you want that, then I'll drop the link of my school in the description box below. So go join our membership so that you can enjoy all the sewing tips and tricks, and then you can have my attention hands-on at every time you need me to help you with any project. All right? Okay, now back to our pattern making. We're going to now trace out our waistband, and then we're going to trace out the pockets, and then I'm going to walk you through them. Okay? So after tracing out the waistband and your pockets, you're going to have 5 pattern pieces in all. You're going to have the center back, the center front, and then your pockets. So you have the first pocket like so. You see my pocket, see where I traced it out from. I hope you can see it well. Okay, and then you have the other pocket like so from here. Now remember to add your seam allowance. And then for the waistband, you're going to just trace out one waistband because the front and the back side are exactly the same thing. So, and for the waistband, you're going to cut 4 pieces on fold. And then for this pocket, 2 pieces. And then for the other one, 2 pieces. Now, once you've traced out all of this, the next thing is we're going to cut off this waistband because we don't need it anymore. So you cut off this and then you cut off the back side as well. So now we're going to go ahead and then place them on our fabric and cut them out. So I'll be using a lightweight stretch denim fabric for these culottes, okay? And I'll be using about 1.5 meters of fabric. So just a quick correction I want to make for the front side. Now for this front side, once you've traced out this pocket sack, this one like so, once you've traced it out, you're going to trim off this part because this pattern here is going to complete it. So I'm actually going to trim this off, okay? So that when we put this like this, so this pocket sack is going to complete this pattern. So if you have already cut yours like this, please do well to kindly correct it. All right. So you're supposed to have something like this. I hope you can see it very well. Yeah. Okay. So once you're done, we are now ready to start stitching. So we're going to start stitching the pocket first. So the first thing you're going to do is just iron on a little fusible on the side where you're going to put your pocket so that it will be a little bit sturdy. And then you're going to take your pocket sack, the one that is slanted. You are going to place it right side facing themselves, with the right side facing themselves like this. And then you're just going to go ahead and stitch like that. You're going to do exactly the same thing for the other side, okay? So now you're going to take your other pocket sack or the pocket facing, and then you're going to just place it like this, right side facing the right side. And now you're going to stitch these parts. You're going to stitch from here all the way down to this part. So just lift it up like this and stitch like this and like this, okay? So now you're going to take one side of the front like so, and then take one side of the back and then place them together like this, and then you're going to go stitch these parts, the inseam. So you're going to go stitch from one end all the way down to the other end. So now we're going to join the two sides together. So you're going to take the other side and then we're going to join the crotch. So place them on top of themselves like that, with right side facing themselves. and then you are going to go ahead to join the crotch together. You're going to stitch from one end like this all the way down to this other end, and then you're going to open press your seam allowance. Okay, so now you're going to have something like this. Now the next thing would be to close the side seam. So you turn them. Let me turn it. So you're going to go ahead to close the side seams. Okay, so you stitch from one end to the other side. Now if your fabric is stretchy enough, you're going to close both sides. Now if your fabric does not have enough stretch, you can add a zipper on one side, on the left side. Okay, so you can So you're going to have something like this. Now you're going to go ahead and then attach your waistband and then finish off your hemline. Now if you are confused as to how to attach your waistband, please watch this tutorial. In this tutorial, I showed step by step how you can prepare your waistband and attach your waistband. Okay? So once you finish attaching your waistband and you finish off your hem, you are now ready to rock your pants. Okay, now let me know, what do you think of this tutorial? Was it difficult or was it easy for you to follow? Do you like it? And if you did, please remember to share with your sewing buddies. Is this something you would like to make? Please leave comments for me in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this tutorial. And remember, if you want to learn how to sew professionally, from making simple garments like this to making complicated styles like jackets and all of that, remember to join my membership program. Join my pattern making and sewing school. Okay, there I teach step by step how to draft patterns for different styles of garments, how to fit them, and how to sew all of this. Okay, so I'll leave the link in the description box below. So if you're interested, just click the link in the description box and sign up to join my membership. You will not regret it. Okay, I'll see you again in my next one. Until then, bye bye.